Hello everyone. In the previous session we had seen DLL hill problem. To resolve that problem we have side-by-side execution. So the problem in DLL hill was something like shared library is being referenced to application 1 and 2. Over a time being, shared library get changed his method from method to method 1 and has been updated in application 2 but not in application 1. So the problem is application 2 works fine with this DLL but application 1 gets error, that is system.io.missing method exception. So it doesn't find that method 1 here because inside this application 1 methods resides only. Okay, so the problem was that. So to solute that, we're having side-by-side execution. So what I did is, let's say I have a method here. Okay, I have a method and a return. This is from DLL. I make this class library into strong name assembly, okay, by going to my properties assembly info.cs, and I add this assembly key file, that is my strong name assembly key, and then I will add, or I will save this class library into my GAC folder, okay, because I'd made explicitly this class library assembly into the strong name assembly. Now I can add this class library into the GAC folder with version, you can see, with version 1.0.0.0, and I hope you remember that side-by-side execution is nothing but different version resides on the same folder. So I have 1.0.0.0 in the GAC folder, and then I'll save the version 2.0.0.0 in the same folder in the GAC. Okay, first of all I need to add this method, this complete DLL into the application 2 and 1. So I go to my reference of application 2 and then I go to add reference and I will add class library which is having method with version 1.0.0.0. I will add it. Okay, it has been added in the application 2. I go to program.cs, I import the DLL class library 1 and I just import the methods. Class obj equals to new class 1 and console dot write, or let's say write line, bj dot method and console dot read key. Okay, so this is of application 2, and the same thing I need to do in application 1. So I just copy this, and before that I need to add a reference in application 1 of the DLL. So I go to my reference, add reference, and add that DLL. Okay, it has been added in the application 1 too. So program.cs, and I just need to paste that code, this one, in the application 1 because it's going to be same. Okay, I need to add my library, sorry, a DLL class library. Okay, so everything is okay right now, it works fine. So I need to save this class library 1 into the GAC folder. So I go to class library, open folders in Windows Explorer, then debug. It's not yet because yeah, I haven't run anything, so I first of all need to run it. So it's running fine. So again I go to my class library and then folders in Windows Explorer, bin debug. Okay, my library is here. So now I copy this and put it into my sample folder. I delete this sample folder I have. Okay, so I need to save this one into the GAC folder. So I use Visual Studio command prompt, right click, run as administrator, and now here I'll use GAC util -I, and I need to copy this path, the sample folder, paste it, and I call my class library. And what happened? Oh yeah, sorry. So there is a gap here. Okay, now add. Okay, assembly added to the cache. So I go to my GAC folder here, go to this local C, Windows, Microsoft.NET, then go to assembly, GAC MSIL, and class library, and you can see the version 1.0.0. the DLL or DLL. Okay, now close this. Okay, so we need a change here. So the change is nothing but your class1.cs, let's say it updated to method 1 here, and then in the properties assembly info.cs I need to change the version to 2.0.0. okay, now I will add this library into my application 2 only. Okay, so earlier DLL should be deleted from the reference. I add here, let me build this one first of all, class library, just build this, rebuild, it's built. So now I will add. Okay, so application 2 is now updated with the updated DLL. I need to change the method to method 1 to match up with the DLL file. Okay, now this also done. Now what I need to do is I just need to go to my open folders in Windows Explorer, this class library, open folder in Windows Explorer, bin debug class library 1.dll. I copy it, put it into my sample folder. This has to be deleted and I just need to paste it. Okay, now again we need to save this DLL into the GAC folder with version 2.0.0.0. so again use my command prompt, same GAC util, just need to sample and then class library, call the class library and hit enter, and you can see assembly added to the cache. So to re-verify it, go to the local C, Windows, Microsoft.NET, assembly, GAC msil, and you can see the version 2.0.0 with the same DLL. Okay, so this is side-by-side execution that we had seen. So this DLL is having method and this DLL is having method 1. Okay, so now let's see that those executable works fine or not. So I go to my Visual Studio and solution, and I copy these two exes and put it into my sample folder. So my sample folder is here. So I will go to the debug. Okay, now I will just drag and drop, or you can say copy. I go to my application 2 bin debug and I copy this one. I again go to the DLL bin debug. I copy this one and replace this. Okay, so let's see now what happens. If I go to application 2, it gives me no error, and application 1, it also doesn't give me any error, because now how this happens is because application 2 will the method 1 will come from here. We having a GAC folder. Let's go to that folder, first one, Windows, Microsoft.NET, assembly, GAC msil, class library. Okay, now so how this happens is because initially what we did is we add this version 1.0.0.0 which is having method, okay, only method that resides in application 1 and 2. okay, initially, so we saved. Okay, so initially we having method, and with version 2.0.0 we having method 1 that also is there in these two exe. So initially works very fine, but we updated our DLL with this version 2.0.0 with method 1, and we update that method 1 inside this application 2 method 1. okay, so if I click this, method 1 will come from here, from this 2.0, this DLL, and it will run. Okay, so this is running, and now if you run this application 1, inside this application 1 method is there, so this method will call from here, this from this DLL. So this DLL is having method, so this will match up here, and this application 1 will works also fine. So let's see, is it there or not. So I'll call aldism and I drag this application 2 So this will ask the version 2.0.0. You can see, so this exe application 2 exe needs a version 2.0.0 the class library. So this is calling from here, this one 2.0.0.0. okay, and you can see in the application 1, if I drag and drop and I go to my manifest, and you can see here class library, it needs a version 1.0.0.0. so it needs a method from here, this one. Okay, so this is pretty simple. So this is a side-by-side execution, the solution of DLL help problem. I hope you understand it